talk about why Squid Game succeeds where the Saw films fail. Now, I'm a fan of both series, but Squid Game has got me absolutely enthralled in a way that the Saw films have not managed to do in a very long time. Now, I'm going to talk about why that is, and I don't have to do any spoilers here. There are going to be no spoilers beyond the basic premise of both things that you get from the trailers, okay? This is safe to watch even if you haven't started Squid Game or the Saw series, which you're kind of late doing. There are a lot of similarities between the two series that let me make this comparison. Both of them are centred around groups of people in various sizes being involved in deadly games, where they can literally lose their lives. Although they do differ in some key aspects that don't actually affect this analysis into why one is more effective than the other. In my mind, there are two key reasons why Squid Game works so much better in terms of being compelling and making you care about what is going on. Now, the first one's quite obvious, so we don't have to be on it long. It is simply that you have more time to care about the characters, more time to invest in learning who they are and getting to give a darn about what they've got going on. This is definitely something that's easier to do in a series than in a movie, where you have a much tighter time frame. Now, when you have a tighter time frame, you can of course choose to just limit your scope and focus in on a couple of key characters. That is what Saw does, that is what Saw 3 does, and that is why they are the best in the series, in my opinion. Now, there are other reasons why I feel Saw 3 is a better film than many people think, but I have already indulged in that in this video here. I'm not going to go into it. The second thing that makes Squid Game so much more effective is the one that's more interesting to me, and that is relatability. Not just the characters, but the scenario. Now, Squid Game is already very eye-catching and engaging because of its very unusual colour scheme. The sort of boldness of it really makes it stand out. In fact, the general design of the series is already very engaging. Add to that the premise of juxtaposing the innocence of children's games with very sinister, deadly consequences. There is a second level that makes this juxtaposition work so well, and that is that we can easily imagine playing these children's games. In fact, we probably played them ourselves. I know I have. I played these games in the playground. Now, when I was in the playground, what we called this game was What's the Time, Mr. Wolf? I'm sure everyone had their own variations, but the key point is we have played this game, we know what it is like, and all Squid Game does is scale up the consequences. Because this is relatable, we can much more easily put ourselves in the character's shoes and relive the tension. Now, I know there may be a rebuttal on the tip of your tongue, just hold on. You might be looking at Challenge 5 and thinking, what the heck kind of playground did you have? That is fair enough. We haven't played this exact game, but the essential fear that this scenario is trying to generate is well known to our lizard brain. It is basically quotidien here. The fear of risking pain by putting your weight on something, unsure if it will hold you up. I mean, that sounds quite trivial, but it's effective. Whether you're doing gymnastics, whether you are climbing, whether you're on stepping stones, whether you're getting up a ladder, we know this fear. We have probably felt it in the last month, and that is why Squid Game is so effective. We can relate to the scenario, and all Squid Game has done is scale up the consequences. Now, consider the Saw scenarios, which are again very vividly designed. They are eye-catching. Now, Saw is drawing on its own influences, of course. It is not springing out of the cinema ex nihilo, but it was repackaging something quite fresh when it started in 2004. But the scenarios that you're seeing in the Saw tests, they are far less relatable than anything in Squid Game. In fact, they're almost taking away the scenario and just doing the consequences, and they are on a level of pain and torture that we just can't relate to. We cannot imagine this level of self-torture, and so we can't engage as much emotionally, which makes the fear a bit less effective. Effectively, Saw is just making us react with disgust rather than empathy. When we're not able to relate as much, we are not going to feel as much fear. Even though these are both very elaborate, unreal scenarios, Squid Game sets up a premise that you can relate to, that you can much more easily imagine yourself partaking in, and that is why Squid Game is more successful than the Saw series. Thanks for watching, I hope you found that interesting. There's very much what my channel is about, a deeper analysis of horror that helps spread the love for the genre. If you enjoyed this, then I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed and maybe drop by one of the live streams we do every Tuesday at 8 PM British time. I'll leave it there because I really want to get back to watching Squid Game. I haven't finished yet and I'm desperate to finish the binge. Alright, see you later. Thanks y'all. Cheers.